There's something about you, chosen one, that makes heaven take notice when you walk into a room. Not because of what you wear. Not because of how loud your prayers sound. But because of what you carry, the unseen crown resting on your spirit. You've been misunderstood. People have mistaken your humility for weakness, your silence for surrender, your patience for passivity. But if only they could see in the spirit what you are, a royal heir walking this earth in a human disguise. There's a reason your soul never fit into common spaces. There's a reason you've always felt like the outlier in the room, not because you were less, but because you were more. Not more important, but more set apart. You were not made to chase crumbs from tables you were born to host. This is not arrogance, this is inheritance. The truth is, your Father is the King of Kings. And when you come from divine royalty, begging becomes beneath your nature. You were born to command with grace, to move with power, to speak with the voice of heaven. But somewhere along your journey, the enemy tried to make you forget your royal DNA. He used rejection to make you feel unworthy. He used poverty to make you feel powerless. He used delay to make you think heaven forgot you. But all along, God was sculpting your crown in secret. You don't carry a regular anointing. You carry a royal one, and today, heaven is reminding you. You were never designed to beg for what's already yours. You were designed to command it, decree it, and align your spirit with the authority of the King himself. From the very beginning, you were written into the royal bloodline of heaven. Before your name was ever spoken on this earth, it was engraved on the walls of the kingdom. You didn't just appear, you were sent. Think about it. A king never sends a messenger without authority. A general never sends a soldier without a weapon. So why would God send you into this generation without equipping you with heaven's power? That royal anointing in you, it's not something you earned through perfect behavior. It's something you inherited through divine birthright. When the Spirit of God lives in you, you carry His authority. You carry His mind, His power, His tone of command. You are not an echo of the world, you are the voice of heaven. The royal bloodline doesn't run through physical veins. It runs through spiritual obedience. Every time you say yes when the world says no, you're proving that you're of a different kingdom. Every time you stand in truth while others compromise, your crown shines brighter. And that's why the enemy fears you. He doesn't fear your achievements. He fears your awareness. Because the moment you realize who you are, that you were born into divine authority, begging dies in you. Fear dies in you. Timidity dies in you. You begin to move differently. You pray differently. You walk through storms like someone who owns the weather. Because deep down, you know, this world is not your throne, but it is your assignment. Chosen one, let's be real. Before you wore a spiritual crown, you wore spiritual chains. You know what it's like to cry out and hear silence. You know what it's like to be surrounded by people but still feel alone. You've tasted betrayal, scarcity, and confusion, and wondered why God allowed it. But the wilderness wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Every tear you cried was polishing your crown. Every betrayal you endured was shaping your discernment. Every delay was training your patience, because royalty doesn't rush destiny. The wilderness taught you authority without entitlement. It taught you to bow before you could stand tall. It taught you to trust when you couldn't see. Do you remember those nights when you had nothing left but prayer? When it felt like heaven went quiet, but your spirit still whispered, "I trust you." That was your coronation in the dark. That's when God said, "Now they're ready, not just to lead, but to love like me." The throne room is not made of gold in heaven. It's built in the heart of the one who has survived breaking without bitterness. And that's you? That's why you can carry royal anointing. Because you didn't just survive pain, you purified it. You didn't just go through storms, you learned to command them. Every season that broke you actually trained your voice to sound like heaven's decree. You've been refined to the point where your words now carry weight. When you speak, atmospheres shift, not because of your tone, but because of your authority. Chosen one. There's a fragrance about your life that can't be faked. It's not the kind of aroma people wear, it's the kind heaven recognizes. When a royal anointing rests on someone, the spirit realm knows. Heaven honors them. Hell fears them. And the earth responds to them, even when people around them can't quite explain why. The royal anointing is not loud, but it's luminous. It doesn't always speak in thunder, sometimes it whispers through peace. It's not about status or spotlight, it's about spiritual stature. It's a mark of divine distinction that says, "This one belongs to the King." And if you've been wondering whether you truly carry this kind of heavenly authority, there are unmistakable signs that reveal it. Let's go deeper into what they are. Royal anointing always comes with rejection. Why? Because before you can be seated, you must first be set apart. You've felt the sting of being left out, misunderstood, even sabotaged by those you tried to help. You've watched people you loved walk away without reason. And you asked, "God, what did I do wrong?" But heaven whispers, "Nothing. You didn't do anything wrong, you just outgrew the atmosphere." When royal oil starts to flow, old environments begin to crack. People attached to your old season can't always handle the weight of your next one. So God allows rejection to release you. Not to hurt you, but to escort you into rooms where your anointing fits. The proof of royal grace is not that you're never rejected. It's that you don't grow bitter. You keep loving, you keep forgiving, you keep shining, because you know your value isn't determined by who left, but by who sent you. That's kingdom royalty, the ability to stay pure in a world that tried to poison you. Every royal carries mystery. And mystery often invites misunderstanding. You've been accused of things you never meant. You've been judged by people who didn't take the time to see your heart. But you stopped defending yourself, not because you gave up, but because you grew up. When you carry a royal anointing, your spirit knows. I don't need to explain to those who weren't assigned to understand. Kings don't argue with peasants in the courtyard. They conserve their breath for decrees, not debates. Your silence has become your crown. Your restraint has become your robe. You know now that true authority doesn't need validation, it carries its own echo. And that's why the people who once doubted you will one day say, "I see it now. They were chosen all along." While others panic, you pause. While storms rage, something inside you stays calm, not because you're numb, but because you're anchored. This peace is not the absence of pain. It's the presence of the King. Royal anointing teaches you how to breathe heaven's air while walking through earth's chaos. You don't need every answer to feel secure. You don't need every door open to believe you're blessed. You just know, deep down, that you're covered. That unshakable calm you carry? That's not your personality, that's your position. You've sat long enough in the King's presence that the noise of this world no longer dictates your inner rhythm. And when people see you at peace in places where others would have lost their mind, that's when they'll realize you carry something royal. You've noticed it, haven't you? That sometimes when you say things, they happen. It's not coincidence, it's spiritual authority. When your heart becomes aligned with heaven, your mouth becomes a microphone for the divine. You're not manifesting, you're governing. You don't speak out of ego, you speak out of intimacy. And heaven recognizes your tone because it sounds like the King. The reason your words carry weight is because they've been tested in silence. You learned to hold your tongue in anger, and that discipline gave your words divine credibility. Now when you do speak, things shift. Atmospheres adjust. Chains break. Even your prayers move with authority. This is one of the clearest signs of royal anointing. Your words are not cheap anymore. They carry the currency of heaven. Every crown draws conflict. Every calling invites confrontation. You've probably wondered, why does it feel like I always have to fight harder than others? Because your anointing costs more. The enemy doesn't waste resources attacking empty vessels. He only targets those who carry something valuable. The warfare around you isn't proof that you're losing, it's proof that you're loaded. You've been chosen to carry authority that threatens darkness. And that's why the attacks feel so personal, because your destiny is personal to heaven. But here's what the enemy forgets. You didn't survive by your strength. You survived by your seal. There's a divine mark over you that says, "Do not touch my anointed." The more intense the battle, the greater the oil that's being pressed from your life. Every trial has only added layers of depth to your authority. Every heartbreak has become a spiritual weapon. You don't just walk in power, you embody resilience. There's a posture about you now. You no longer move from insecurity, you move from identity. Royal confidence is not about thinking you're better, it's about knowing you're chosen. It's a sacred calm that says, I don't need to compete, I'm already complete. You can honor others without dimming your light. You can celebrate others' wins without questioning your worth. You've reached a place where you no longer chase validation, you attract it through presence. This is what spiritual maturity looks like. You don't need to shout to prove your authority. You simply walk into a space, and people feel it. The atmosphere senses that someone carrying heaven's signature has arrived. This quiet confidence is divine nobility, the fruit of years spent in the presence of the King. You don't want to do things halfway anymore. Mediocrity doesn't feel right on you. Because royalty doesn't settle for just enough. You want your life, your words, your work, to reflect the excellence of your Father. You don't strive for perfection, you strive for representation. You want people to see God through the way you carry yourself. This hunger for excellence isn't pride, it's stewardship. You understand that every detail of your life preaches a silent sermon. The way you love, the way you show up, the way you speak, it all points back to the one who anointed you. Excellence is not about luxury, it's about legacy. And those with a royal anointing don't chase luxury, they build legacy. When you carry a royal anointing, you crave intimacy more than attention. You'd rather spend 1 hour in God's presence than 1,000 being praised by people. Worship has become your home base. You don't worship to get something. You worship because you recognize someone. That's why sometimes you pull away from crowds. You go quiet for seasons. You feel this deep pull to go higher, deeper, closer. That's the anointing reminding you, your strength doesn't come from platforms, it comes from the throne room. And when you emerge from that secret place, you don't just bring inspiration, you bring impartation. People sense something eternal flowing through your mortal body. That's royal flow. Heaven's oil traveling through human vessels. Royal anointing births distinction. It makes you aware that your life isn't a random chapter, it's a divine scroll. You've stopped comparing your journey to others. You've realized that what's on you isn't common. You're not here to blend in, you're here to build. You don't chase trends, you establish standards. You don't follow the crowd, you walk ahead, paving spiritual highways for others to follow. That's what royalty does, it leads by example, not by echo. And you've begun to see that your uniqueness isn't a flaw, it's your fingerprint of heaven. There's no copy of your anointing in circulation. God didn't recycle your soul. He designed you one of one, because your assignment carries a sound that can't be duplicated. Royal anointing doesn't just lift you up, it makes you want to lift others. You feel an unusual compassion for people who are bound. You sense pain that others overlook. You intercede for strangers. You can't walk past suffering without your heart stirring. That's not weakness, that's the heart of a king. Because real royalty doesn't dominate, it delivers. Your prayers carry empathy. Your authority carries mercy. You don't want control, you want transformation. You've learned that the true sign of a throne is not how high you sit, but how low you're willing to kneel. That's the paradox of divine kingship. You reign by serving. You lead by loving. You command by compassion. The weight of this anointing isn't light. It's not always glamorous. But deep within you, you sense a call to stand. When others run from darkness, you run toward it, not to fight for ego, but to bring light. You're built for spiritual confrontations. You've walked through enough pain to recognize the patterns of bondage in others. And now, you're being positioned to free those still trapped where you once were. That's royal destiny. That's divine rulership. You don't just survive battles, you establish peace after them. Every scar you carry is a scepter. Every trial you conquered is a throne. You've been forged in fire so that you can govern with grace. Chosen one, if these signs resonate with your spirit, don't dismiss them as coincidence. They're confirmation. Heaven has been quietly shaping you for rulership, not servitude. You were never made to beg for love, approval, or favor. You were designed to carry it, and command atmospheres with it. You are a living reflection of the King. Everywhere you go, the invisible crown on your spirit testifies. This one is not ordinary. This one carries royal oil. And though the world may not yet see it, the heavens already do. Your royal anointing is recognized beyond what your eyes can perceive. You are marked, sealed, and set apart to represent the majesty of the one who sent you. Let's go deeper. When God created Adam, He didn't tell him to beg the ground for fruit. He told him to subdue it. When Jesus walked the earth, He didn't beg storms to stop. He commanded them. And when He looked at His followers, He said, "You will do greater things than these." That's not metaphor. That's mandate. You were designed to command, not because you're God, but because you represent God. You're His reflection, His voice in human form. When you speak in alignment with His will, creation listens. The spirit realm doesn't respond to tears, it responds to authority. And authority comes from identity. When you know who you are, your words stop sounding like pleas and start sounding like decrees. Begging comes from doubt. Commanding comes from trust. That's why the enemy works overtime to make you feel small, forgotten, or unworthy. Because if you believe you're a beggar, you'll never act like a ruler. But God is reminding you, you were created in the image of a king. You have dominion over fear, not the other way around. You have authority over confusion, not the other way around. You don't chase blessings, blessings chase you when you walk in identity. And let this sink in. The enemy doesn't want your possessions, he wants your position. Because as long as you doubt your authority, you'll live like a servant in a kingdom you're supposed to reign in. Chosen one, command the atmosphere again. Speak to the dry places in your life and declare life. Call peace where there's chaos. Decree healing where there's pain. You were designed to shift realities, not surrender to them. So now that you know who you are, how do you live like it? Royalty isn't just a title, it's a posture. It's how you carry yourself in the unseen realm. You start walking in royal identity when you do 3 things. Speak like a king. Your words are creative. Don't use your mouth to describe your pain, use it to define your promise. You're not just speaking into the air, you're speaking into existence. Guard your atmosphere. Kings don't sit in every room. You must learn to protect your spirit from small-minded energy. You can love people without lowering your vibration to match theirs. Royal anointing requires discernment, not arrogance, but sacred separation. Worship like you know who you are. When a royal worships, heaven moves. You don't worship to impress, you worship to align. When you lift your hands, the king recognizes his reflection. And soon, everything around you begins to shift to match your internal royalty. Doors open differently. People are drawn to you for reasons they can't explain. Favor finds you without your effort, because you stopped chasing and started commanding. Chosen one, you've been walking through life thinking you're just surviving. But heaven sees you as someone who's strategically reigning. Every delay, every hardship, every lonely season, it all built your authority. You were never losing time, you were learning tone. The tone of heaven. Now God says, take your place. No more bowing to fear. No more apologizing for your calling. No more minimizing your light to keep others comfortable. You are royal. You carry a divine mandate. You are the answer to prayers generations before you prayed. When you speak, the earth listens. When you move, angels adjust formation. When you pray, heaven echoes your voice. Because the one who sits on the throne lives inside you, and he designed you not to beg from the world, but to command it with love, grace, and divine certainty. So stand tall, chosen one. Your crown is not made of gold, it's made of glory. And every time you walk in confidence, every time you choose faith over fear, every time you command your destiny instead of begging it, heaven applauds. You are not forgotten. You are enthroned. You are not ordinary. You are royal. And from this day forward, the world will begin to see what heaven has always known. That you, chosen one, carry a royal anointing. You are designed to command, not beg. Like this video. And you can support the channel through the link in the channel's bio. Even your $1 is very precious for me and this channel. Your kindness helps us continue spreading light and love. God bless you.